Welcome to Extraterrestrial Reality. It is the 1-year anniversary of Vindication Day. It was actually on April 2nd of 2024 when Scott Roeder of the Evidence Room, a company out of Ohio, he's a crime scene reconstruction expert. He did an analysis with his team, and it was determined that the video footage, the 1 minute and 41 second long video footage that was filmed on a cell phone by the Kenmore family during the late night hours of April 30th, 2023 and the early morning hours of May 1st, 2023, that showed alien creatures in their backyard. As of course, as everyone knows the story, it's a well-known story at this point in the UFO community. On the late night, right before midnight, about 10 minutes to midnight on April 30th of 2023, an object came down from the sky. It was seen in 4 different states. The object, some people thought it was a meteor. Obviously, it could not have been a meteor. It made a sound as it came down. Now there was a expert in meteors, a Christopher Hurd out of the University of Alberta in Canada, who last year told me that he thinks that that was just vibrations, local vibrations. There was on one of the videos that captured this object coming down. It was a ring camera video with sound. You could hear this strange oscillating mechanical sound as this object came down. And in addition to that, the object left no heat signature. Here's a clip from Scott Roeder's initial analysis of the object that came down from the sky when he talks about this, the fact that it had no heat signature, as well as the fact that it made a strange sound as it landed.
So this is not showing heat. If that was a meteor, it would have a massive heat signature because it's a fireball, right? But there's no heat signature. So now we've got a long wave infrared, and now there's no meteor. And now the next thing I want you to listen to in the other clip that has audio with the alleged meteor, and we can hear a consistent audio in all of the footage. Take a listen.
This object came down in the backyard of the Kenmore family. It was witnessed by Angel Kenmore and his brother Joshua. They saw this thing come down in their backyard. They were out there working on their dad's truck just before midnight. And when the thing hit the ground, it just vanished. You couldn't see it. It became invisible. They're using some sort of cloaking technology. And the next thing these 2 youngsters knew, there were 8 to 10 foot tall creatures, alien creatures, non-human creatures running around the backyard. They went and they got their mom and dad, Bobby and Contra. They were going to try to enter the backyard, and when they tried to go into the yard, they were chased out by one of these creatures. And then they continued to film it for another minute or so, 45 seconds, something like that. And that video was examined by Roeder and his team. And last year on April 2nd, that's when he made his analysis public. When he came on this show, we called it Vindication Day because as far as we were concerned, everyone in the UFO community who's been talking about the reality of an alien presence on this world were vindicated as far as we were concerned. And everyone, as far as anyone should be concerned, there's no question, absolutely no question that all of that evidence surrounding that case, not just the video evidence, but everything, the witness testimony, the fact that there were people from 4 different states that saw the object coming down from the sky, the fact that it was that it became the idea that this thing became invisible. The creatures themselves exhibited cloaking abilities, as we would find out later on. But when a lot of us first looked at that video, we weren't seeing the aliens. It took some time. Actually, Roeder in June of 2023, he examined the video. It was actually uploaded to Reddit by the family, and They were claiming that there were aliens in this video. So Rotor took a look at it, and in June of 2023, and actually I'm going to play a clip from that video. This was from June of 2023. This is long before Vindication Day, of course. We'll get into what happened on Vindication Day later. But this is what Rotor, this is just a small segment of what Rotor was telling me in June of 2023 about what he discovered in that video. Now, this at the time was not enough to show, to prove anything. I thought that this showed something moving toward these people as they went into the backyard, but it wasn't enough at that time. But anyway, let's just play a little segment from that video here that I'm talking about.
It's about 2.5 seconds now, and it's zoomed in. So let's take a look at that. Okay, play it again. See, that's why this one's really good to play this on a loop.
Yeah, we're gonna pull it up. I do have a loop. We're gonna pull that up right now. I could. Yeah. I'm gonna get out of this.
But if you go to wait now, if you go to the next one, and we'll save the loop for last.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, go to the next video.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Wow.
And play it again. Now, do you see something moving there?
Yes.
So do I. And the reason why this particular point in the film is so important is, and we can bring up the original video if you want, but in the original video, the reason why I picked this moment is, one, there was another guy that picked this moment, and I think the reason why I picked this moment was because it was at the moment where the older gentleman, I'm assuming that's his father or uncle, he freezes and kind of moves to his left a little bit. Like he was frozen. He was shocked, and he moved slightly to his left. And Angel was frozen for a second and then moved to the right, almost in the reaction of just like, what is that? What is that? And the father did the opposite. He was like, what's that? And it created a space to show exactly what they were looking at. And it's that space that we're finding, whatever that is, which I believe we can establish is moving and is not a part of the forklift. It's not an optical illusion. And it's there. Whatever it is, it's there, and it scared them half to death.
I'm going to play the no filter version here.
Yeah. Right there. It's hard to see there.
You could see it though, a little bit. A little bit.
You can see it, yeah.
You can see its eyes glowing, it looks like.
Yeah. You can almost see the eyes glowing above their hats before they even get into it, which I just realized now. So look above the top of the hat line for a couple of what look like spotlights or circles, and those are in the same exact area of whatever this thing is that moves when the heads separate.
Yeah, you're right there.
Yeah.
So you see the eyes actually beforehand too, yeah?
Yeah, like right above the head.
Wow.
And then watch when their heads move, boom, it's right in that area. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. I spent hours on this today. I mean, since the time I woke up, it was fixated in my brain. I was like, I didn't feel like I had enough meat on the bone to have a good conversation about it. I did some, but I felt like it wasn't where I needed it to be. And then so I worked on it this morning, like starting at like 7:30 a.m. until like maybe an hour ago, and and this is what I came up with.
Okay, we're going to stop it there. Yeah, so that's what Rotor initially found in the video when he first looked at it in June of 2023. And he would come on my show after that. Every now and then he would pop on and we would talk about this and other cases as well. But it wasn't until March of 2024 when I was watching a video by the popular YouTuber named Sherman, and he had interviewed the two teenage kids, Angel and Joshua. And I so I did a video about that, about what Sherman learned from them. It was very interesting, and when I did that video, after I did that, one of my subscribers, Julia June out of New York, contacted me and said that I've been missing something. I'm not seeing something. I wasn't pointing out one of the creatures that she was seeing. She and many other people, obviously, it wasn't just me. It wasn't just her. There was other people that were seeing this too, of this head that appears above the fence. So she contacted me, and I looked at it, and I was like, wow, she's correct. So I ended up doing a video on that, and I'm just going to play a little segment from that video. Put my glasses on first so I could see. Yeah, we're going to play a little segment from that video. And the name of this video, this was actually from March of 2024, and it was called Explosive New Video Evidence of Las Vegas Aliens Emerges. So I did a video on this after I was contacted by Julia June, and here's a little segment from that video from March of last year. One of my followers, Julia June, 96. She contacted me and sent me some pictures and some information with regard to what she saw, what she's seeing in this video. So now I'm going to just play this little clip from that Scott Roeder, the crime scene reconstruction expert, where he identified some kind of a creature moving toward the father and two sons before they exited the yard last year. And you could see, I'm showing it right now, and you could see there was some sort of a weird entity that you could see. But when you look at the entire video, the full frame 9:16 cell phone version, something, as soon as they are exiting the yard, something comes flying in from the right side of the screen and stops right above the fence. You can see its head. It's shadowy, right? But for a few frames, you could make out the face of a what looks like a gray alien. That's what it looks like. It looks like the classic gray alien face. And there's a few frames. Now I'm going to play this video in a loop, and so you could check it out. Not only could you see above the fence the shadowy figure, the shadow moving in, but you could see behind the fence in the holes between the boards that make up the fence. You can see that there's a shadow behind there that appears that apparently is the creature itself. It looks like it's somewhat semi-transparent, and but there's something there. Check this out. I have it on a loop. I'll play it a few times so you could see what I'm talking about. It zooms into the picture here on this video. Zooms into the head right there. So we'll just stop it there. Yeah, so Scott Roeder, after he saw this video, he got his team together, and then they looked at the video all over again, because we must have looked at this video 100 times over the course of a year since that incident happened, or over the course of less than a year, actually over 9 months, I guess, 9 months worth of looking at the video over and over again. We just didn't see that head. It wasn't until it was pointed out to me by Julia June. So then Roeder, once I did the video, then he looked at it, and then he got his team together, and they were able to look at that video. They authenticated the video. It wasn't tampered with. They were able to determine that there was no CGI or anything like that involved. One of the people that he had helping him was a guy named Luis Castillo. He's a video expert who's studying for his doctorate right now in animation. Computer animation. So these people know what they're talking about, and so the video was authenticated by them, and when Roeder contacted me after he made this determination, and I was pretty much shocked. It was right at the very end of March. It was late March. It was the last weekend in March when last Friday in March of 2024, when he contacted me to let me know about this. And it was staggering to me. It was unbelievable. I was shocked. I mean, wow. I was thinking to myself, wow, he's able to prove now that this is real. I mean, we're looking at real creatures, and he's able to verify that they were really there. And so over the course of the next few days, him and his team put a presentation together. Then he came on my show, and that's when all the results of that presentation, of the initial presentation that he put together, were revealed for the first time, and that was on April 2nd. We called it Vindication Day because, like I said, we thought that this vindicates everyone in the UFO community. I mean, there's nothing a debunker could do now, right? As far as we were concerned. And I thought everyone in the UFO community would jump on this. I thought this was the end of it. I thought this was the beginning of a new era. At that moment, I actually created an opening for that day, Vindication Day, where I had a bunch of different pictures of people who have been affected by this, people who have been ridiculed, like Ricky Storls, for instance, investigators, famous people who are no longer with us, like Stanton Friedman. I just had a bunch of faces with a bunch of patriotic music playing to start off that episode, and I called it Vindication Day because, as far as everyone should have been concerned, everyone was vindicated because we have the absolute proof as of that point. At that point in time, we're finally able to say, hey, look there's nothing you could say this time because we know for a fact there's just too many aspects to this case to show us that it really happened. I mean, you had the object coming down from the sky. You had it was captured on a police body camera for heaven's sakes. This object coming down from the sky, this bluish green object that ended up eventually landing in the backyard of the Kenmore family, right? We had that. We had all of that stuff. We had the testimony from the family. We had the 911 call. We just recent months, another person who's been investigating this, along with Scott Roeder and myself, along with Mr. Gray Owl from Canada, who's been a big help in this analysis and revealing the truth about this case. There was another guy named Chris Lathrop. He's been on the show before, and he talked about this, and he was actually just earlier this year was able to get the full 911 call. We didn't have that. We finally have that now. But anyway, just for the sake of for the fun of it, here's the full. Now we actually have the full 911 call. Not only was it Angel talking about what they were seeing, but also the father. You could hear him talking about it. So here's the 911 call.
911 emergency, Herberger 19452. Do you need police, fire, or medical?
Okay. I don't know if this is an emergency case. Me, my dad, and my brother, we're working on a truck.
Police, fire, or medical?
Well, I think I need police because
what is the address that you need police?
Okay, lady, I'm so sorry. I know I'm wasting your time, but
it's not a waste of time. I just need to know where we're going before anything else.
Okay, police. Yes, police matter. This is police matter.
To what address?
6160 West El Campo Grande.
Okay, what's going on over there?
Okay, lady. Me, my dad, and my brother, we're working on a truck in our backyard, and we have a big lot outside, right? Correct?
Okay.
We were working, and we just see in a corner of our eye something fall down from the sky, and it was with light, and when it hit down, it was like a big impact, and we felt it. We felt like an energy. And then we hear like a lot of footsteps near us, and then we have a big equipment, and we see, and there's like an 8-foot person beside it, and another one's inside, and it has big eyes and looking at us, and it's still there.
Okay, where is this on your property?
In my backyard. I swear to God, this is not a joke. This is actually we terrified of it.
So there's two people or two subjects that are in your backyard?
Correct, and they're very large. They're like 8 foot, 9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes, like I can't explain it. And big mouth. They're shiny eyes, and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
Okay.
I don't know what to do.
Okay, I'm getting a call started for you, okay? So,
okay.
How long ago did this happen?
I'm looking at it right now, like when I saw something fall down.
How long ago
like
was that?
10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. And we were just checking, and you could feel like a weird energy, and you could feel something, but 100% there's like 1 or 2 on a big forklift we have, and they're very large ladies. They're like 9 foot, 10 foot tall.
Okay.
And this is not a joke. I know I don't want to waste you guys' time. I know it's probably more emergency, but this is scary.
Okay, do they appear under the influence of drugs or alcohol, or you don't know?
No, lady, no.
Okay.
I don't
Do they
drink.
have
I'm 18. I don't drink.
I understand. I'm talking about the people that are in your backyard.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes, hello. Yes.
Okay, I'm talking about the people, the things that are in your backyard. Do they appear under the influence of drugs or alcohol, or you don't know?
Lady, I don't know, lady. They don't look
Do they have
human.
any weapons?
No, lady. I don't think they have weapons, but they're very tough humans. Lady,
Okay,
this is.
I already have a call set up, okay? My questions aren't delaying any kind of help.
Okay.
So what do they look like?
Okay, they're like a neon color light. Like their eyes look like neon. Like you can see very bright from very far away.
Okay.
They're about 10, 11 foot tall. And they're like, there's two of them. And they're like a greenish tan color.
Okay.
First, okay, we're working on a truck. We see something fall from the sky in the backyard.
Okay, so hang on. So it's green or tan colored eyes. Can you tell me anything else about them in case they take off?
They're tall. They're very large and they're very like big, muscular. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Maybe they're only aliens. 100%. I know I'm not stupid.
Okay, are they wearing clothes? Can you tell me anything else?
No, they're naked. No, there's no clothes. You can just see them shining.
Okay.
They're naked, naked.
And your brother and your dad are still there?
They're right here next to me.
Okay. Can I speak to one of them?
Yes. Hello.
Hi, this is Metro Police on a recorded line. Do you still see them outside?
Well, yeah, I don't want to go all the way there because I have the heavy equipment on my bike.
Okay. And are you the father or the brother?
Yeah, I'm a father.
Okay.
So
How long
I went
ago
back
did
there.
you see them?
That's 20 minutes.
Okay.
18, 20 minutes around there. So
And they're green, correct?
Yeah, they're like green, but very tall. It's about 11 foot tall. Well, I have a couple of trailers in the back. They're very tall. They were like 10 taller than trailers.
Okay.
I have heavy equipment, so
All right.
very large.
Are you able to lock all the doors inside?
Yes.
Okay. Are all the doors locked right now?
Well, we outside. The back doors, yeah, but
Okay.
we outside.
Are you able to go inside and lock the doors? I don't want you to put yourself in danger in case they have any
Okay.
weapons.
Oh, okay then. All right, let's go inside. Come on, Ivy. We saw like a big light. It was like big, a lot of color lights, and then a lot of color lights disappeared. Yeah.
Are you able to give me any other description other than that they're very tall, muscular, green, tan-colored skin? Can you tell me anything else about them?
No. I could see them walk. They walk like I have a heavy equipment there, like right there. I don't know. So
Okay.
we can see it's no close to them. No, they look like all like both heads.
Could you tell if they had any weapons or no?
No, I don't see nothing. No, I don't.
Okay. All right.
I see it so fast. That was so fast. Actually, when I walked back there, I was walking back to my house, to my yard, to my house, and I couldn't. I could see the energy. I couldn't walk no more. So that was kind of weird. I don't know.
What is your first and last name?
Bobby Kenmore.
Spell it for me.
Kenmori. Oh, Kenmore. R-O. Ahora, kids, get over here.
Okay. Can you spell it one more time?
Yeah, that's it. Kenmore.
Okay, and Bobby, B-O-B-B-Y?
Yeah, you got it.
How many people are there with you?
My 2 kids and my wife. And me. 4 people.
Okay. All right. Is anybody in the house under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No.
Okay. Any weapons for anybody inside the house?
Just me.
What was that?
Just me. I have my weapon.
What kind of weapon do you have?
9mm Glock.
Where is it at?
Open carry.
Okay. So it's on your waist right now?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You can have it for safety right now, okay? But when the officers come and approach your house, they're going to knock on your door, and I need that gun to be secured. I need that to be somewhere other than on your person, okay? And I need you to come outside with your hands up so they can see there's nothing in your hands, okay? But for right now, you can hang on to it while it's safe to do so, okay? But nobody's under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
Nope.
Okay.
Nothing of that.
And then does anybody in the house have any kind of mental illness or no?
Nope.
Okay.
No.
And what's a good phone number I can call you back on?
Correct.
Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and update all this information, okay? If anything changes or escalates or they start to get violent, go and give us a call back, okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Thank
So
you,
we get
sir.
inside the house then. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so that's the 911 call. Last October, another subscriber of mine from Italy, Nicola Dogiero, he provided a partial translation. He was able to do. It was very difficult because it's a language that the Kenmore family speaks that a lot of people don't speak. It's apparently a version of Romani, and so it was very difficult to get a full complete translation of this, but we did get a translation of the full video back in October, or excuse me, a partial translation back in October, and I ran a video about that. We've been talking about this for since Vindication Day. We've been talking about it all year. Scott Roeder put out a report that he put together on this. He made that public, and I've talked about that on the show. There's so many different things that have happened over the course of the year since Vindication Day happened a year ago. We were able to find more creatures in there, including what we call the undeniable backbreaker. And it's this little gray. That's what it is, just as described by many people over the years, a little gray creature. Here's a little video I ran, another video I put together last year in one of my podcasts, detailing some of the creatures that you could see in the video, including this undeniable backbreaker I like to call it that because it's undeniable. Or we call it UB for short, just like ET, the extraterrestrial. This is UB, the undeniable backbreaker. So here's what that thing looked like. Okay, all you debunkers out there, this is the part of the video, part of the proof. You're watching it right now. You see the three family members, the three Kenmore family members, the father, Bobby, followed by his son, Angel and Joshua, all three of them armed with hand pistols because they were witnessing 8 to 10 foot tall creatures in their backyard. You see them all stop as they see something and they start backing out of the yard. Meanwhile, you could see the other creature, they didn't even notice it at the time, appear above the fence. You see its head appear above the fence. You can see the shadow. Look, there's a shadow that shows up behind the fence there. You can see it. It's not their shadow either. It's not their shadow. It's the shadow of this thing here, and I'll show you a close up later. And also, you see there's a little head in here. You can't see it that well here, but I'll show you that a little bit later too. But as Scott Roeder, the crime scene reconstruction expert, pointed out, there's no way this could have been faked. The way those three of them all backed out at the same time, particularly Angel and the father Bobby. They both saw something at the same time, and they both reacted at the same time. There was something coming at them, and then they all backed out at the same time. And you could see there was something there, something moving toward them. It was one of the alien creatures. And then meanwhile, as they were backing out, almost at the same time, you could see this thing appearing, the head appearing above the fence, as well as the shadow of this creature appearing behind the slats of the fence. Right there is the head, momentarily. And so that was this is just part A of here's a close up of it. You could see, you'll see this little head pop in here a little bit. There it is, right there. You see it, and then there's movement, and then meanwhile, here comes the other thing above the fence, and it materializes for a few seconds. There it is, right there. And this is now proven. It's now proven, Mick West and the rest of you debunkers out there. There's a presence on this planet. There is no doubt about it. It's been proven. It's been proven. Now look at this. There's a black and white of just the creature chasing him out of the yard. You can see right in there. You see it? What is that? It's not a raccoon, and it's no coyote. It's not a raccoon and not a coyote. Look at that thing. What is it? What is it? It's an alien. That's what it is. It's a non-human intelligent creature. That's what it is. Just like the witnesses stated. That's what it is. And then now I just want to move on. We'll go do a close-up of the other thing. The thing above the fence. You watch this thing. There's no doubt about this. No doubt about it. You can see this thing moving in. This isn't. I just have it on a loop. There you see it. There you see it. You see it. Here's a close up of it. This is just like 6 frames worth. You can see the eye here and eye here. You can see a head. It was whatever it was doing. It prevented the camera from filming it properly, because in that little area of the video, 66% of the pixels were missing. But this, what you're seeing right here, an eye there, an eye there. This is the head. And this is what they were describing. This is what they described. They were describing creatures like this, 8 to 10 feet tall. And obviously, this is at least a 6-foot tall fence here. And so this thing towers above the fence. And you could also see a shadow behind it. If that wasn't enough for you, if you want to try to pretend that it was that's all shadows, and if that's what you want to try to do, before we even move on there, look at it. Here's a still picture of the creature right here that appears above the fence. Eye. This is its head. See, it's real. It's real. I'm not getting into the whole story here just for this little piece here. But I think it's important. And then more recently, in the more recent months, we've been talking about this. We call them UB. You know how like ET, the extraterrestrial. This is called UB, the backbreaker. This ends the debate. This ends the debate. In addition to everything else that we've been pointing out, look at this. There's a gray alien right there. Look at him. Look at him, as big as life. There, he turned his head for you. Look at that thing. Look at, no doubt, eye, head. No question about it. Look at this thing, no doubt about it. And then look at how, obviously they're using some sort of technology to hide themselves. Look at how it just disappears in some sort of a mist. But let's watch the beginning again. Even before it comes into plain view, you could see a distorted version there. Look at, there's an eye there. There's an eye there. You can make out the head, but it's distorted. It's barely discernible, but it looks like alien, just like everyone always said, the descriptions that have always been passed around. Then all for a few brief seconds, you see it, and there it's looking right at you, and it turns its head. It's there because it's real. There's really a presence here. And the debunkers like Mick West and Stephen Greenstreet and all these other clowns out there who are pretending that there's nothing to this, are they setting us up for failure because of their fear? And look at, not only that, let me just point out one other thing. I did here's an AI. I used an AI animator that's part of my editing program, and it recognized the face of the creature here too. UB. Here's UB. This is the real one on the right. Here's the animated version on the left. You can see that even the computer, the AI program, recognizes that there was a face there. Look at this. Amazing. It's undeniable. That's why we call him the undeniable backbreaker, UB. The debate is over. It's done. And this is only the tip of the iceberg. We've been talking about there's other creatures in this yard, or was other things other than these things right here. And so it's over, and you need to start accepting it. And this is, look at this. Look, oh my God, I can't even imagine. Let's look at the full version one more time. Look at this thing. Look at how it is. Look at that. Do you feel that? You understand now why we call him the undeniable backbreaker? Because now it ends this whole nonsense that you guys have been talking about for all these years, that there's nothing to it. Because this doesn't look like there's nothing to it to me. This looks like there's something most certainly to it. Most certainly to it. Look it. There it is. Just like everyone has been trying to tell you, these are the creatures responsible for all the UFOs, that the mysterious UFOs that people have been seeing for all these years. It's real, and there is most certainly a segment within the government that's been hiding this for all this time. There's most certainly a cover-up, no question about it. And you guys have been playing games for all these years, and here's the proof, and you won't talk about it. You know why? Because you're afraid. Look at, why wouldn't you be? Look at this. Look at that. Oh, it's distorted, but you see it. I know you see it. Look at it. It's there. There's no doubt. And look at that. Here it comes. There it is. And look at that. Watch this. Watch it. Turn the head. See, it turned its head. And then it just disappears. It fades into the blackness of the night. But guess what? There was more. This is just the tip of the iceberg. These are the guarantees. There's no question about it. They're there. These were real creatures that those people saw in the yard. And you guys lying to people all the time, pretending there's nothing to this, acting sanctimonious like you're know-it-alls, and you think you're right. But guess what? You're wrong. Mick West, you've been wrong the whole time. And then there were creatures. There was something hanging out by near the heavy equipment, in front of the front loader. We showed that. We showed this creature. You could see it. It's standing there. It looks just like when you put the picture of this creature's face next to a drawing of one of the creatures that abducted one of the Allagash 4. It looks like the same exact thing. So here, this is what that thing looked like. And then there on top of it, there's a side by side of the creature from the one of the drawings that one of the Allagash 4 drew from that incident in 1976 that occurred in the Maine's Allagash wilderness, where these 4 young guys, college students, were abducted. They had missing time, and then they didn't realize it until years later. And then they, under hypnosis, they all remembered that they were taken by these creatures, brought on board, examined, and then let loose. And they didn't realize it for a long time. They remembered seeing the craft, and then that was it. But then years later, it took over 10 years before they realized that they were actually inside that craft. They were abducted and they had missing time. And that creature looks the same thing. One of those creatures, anyway, looks like the same thing that we're seeing here in Vegas. So that was another thing. And here was another video I did last October with some other creatures, big-headed creatures you see in the cab. I'm just going to play a little segment from this. This is from a video titled "Possible Evidence of Time Dilation Effects During Las Vegas Alien Incident Revealed." Here, I'll play this for you. Now, toward the very end of the video, there was something I found just the other day, and I'm going to pull it up here on the screen. Yeah, well, this is a faraway shot first. Now, these 2 creatures appear in the background here, like you see them inside the it looks like 2 big giant alien heads, right? One in front of the other, okay, inside the front loader. And this is different than this thing right here. This is one of the ones I've been talking about recently. This is the one here, this black thing a little bit. You can't really see it here. This is somewhat cloaked right there too. You can't really, but you could see this thing for pretty much the whole tail end of this video. This black thing, which I was talking about. This is the one that looked like the Allagash 4, one of the Allagash 4 abductors. You see it right there. But that's not what I'm talking about. These 2. It's different. Here's a close-up of it, and this is an enhanced picture of it. You can see these look like very large heads, right? 2 very large heads. Now, again, this is the other one. This is the Allagash 4 thing the one that looks like the Allagash 4. It's more warped than it looked in this image that I captured from it. But if you look at the other 2 things here, I'm wondering here, is this one and the same? Now this doesn't show up. This image, you can't see this it's only on 1 frame. You'll see a little bit of it. It's very warped, and for 1 frame, this is as clear as it gets. But it looks like it's 2 heads connected to one. It looks like the same 2 heads, the same head actually. Looks like it was moving so fast. Right? Was there some time dilation going on here? And to the camera, it was moving so fast that this was the only image it was able to capture at that moment in time. And basically it was here and then it was here. But as far as the camera was concerned, it was in 2 places at one time because it was moving so quickly. And as you can see, this meets the description here, even more so probably than anything, of these big creatures with big heads and big eyes. You can see it, and it looks like it's looking out. This one looks like it's looking toward the camera, but the one that's right behind it here looks like it's somewhat of a semi-profile. So to me, I wonder. I ask myself questions: is this potential evidence of time dilation? Okay, we're going to stop it right there. Okay, now, Now, this is the stuff that I've been showing here. This is just some of. There's at least there's over 20 different instances where there's different kinds of faces materializing and then dematerializing in that 1 minute and 41-second long video. Way too many times. There's no way it could have been that all of it is pareidolia. No, that's not what's going on here. There were creatures in that yard, and that video proves it. And we have experts telling us, yes, there was something in that yard. And actually, there was another company too, operated by some Italian-based company that actually did pretty much confirm Rotor's analysis as well. So it's not just him. There's other people now looking into this. Not many now, and we weren't really able to get much traction in the mainstream with this. We were able to talk about it on News Nation. There was an episode there, but the problem was that I didn't think that News Nation really they didn't do enough with it. There wasn't enough stuff. They should have brought Rotor back more. They had him with another somebody who didn't understand this case at all, Ben Hansen. And Ben Hansen was trying to poo-poo it without even really doing any sort of research whatsoever himself, right? And there's been other people in the UFO community, as I've talked about over the course of this year, since Vindication Day, who didn't give this any sort of credence for whatever reason. Jeremy Corbell, who I have a lot of respect for otherwise, he poo-pooed this whole incident last year, shortly after the News Nation episode where Scott Rotor was talking about his analysis, along with Ben Hansen's discussion about it as well. Anyway, Jeremy Corbell, he thought that this was harmful to the discussion, things like this. It's too sensational. It's too crazy, I guess, is for him. I don't know why, because it proves everything. I mean, I don't get it. Is it too much for the public? Is that what his argument is? Maybe that's the case. Maybe the public just isn't ready for this. I don't know. Chris Eberhardt of Fox News Digital, he ran several articles on this incident. He actually interviewed Scott Rotor and myself, and then there was a couple of articles on that. But that was as far as it went with the mainstream. There really wasn't a lot of people. Didn't seem like there was much interest in this for some reason, and doesn't seem like there's a lot of interest within the UFO community as well. People hate this. People hate it because it proves it. That's what it comes down to. That's what this is. There's a lot of people in this world who don't like this. They don't want this to be true. Debunkers, for one thing, that's another thing. They've been unable to disprove this. They can't. They're incapable of doing it. In fact, another thing that happened over the course of this past year, late last year, actually, Scott Rotor offered Mick West $5,000 to analyze that video and provide his own thoughts on it, but he wouldn't do it. He refused to do it and said, it's not worth it, it ain't worth it, things like that, that there's nothing to this case. Mick West, of course, the same guy who went on News Nation before that and stated that it was what they probably saw was raccoons and coyotes, and that's what he tried to say. Well, obviously, it's not raccoons and coyotes. There was obviously something in the yard and it was non-human intelligence. That's what was there. They were intelligent creatures they were able to use some sort of cloaking technology. Like I said, they were materializing and then dematerializing. If you watch that video, the entire thing and examine it closely, you'll see this. You'll see these things, they're there and then they're not there. And who knows how they're able to do this, but they were able to do it. I mean, for some reason, the undeniable backbreaker, UB, you see him and now you see him and then you don't. How are they doing that? We don't know. All we could do is speculate. But the bottom line is the fact that the video was authenticated, the fact that the family said that they saw 2 8 to 10 foot tall alien creatures, definitely no question about it. They were non-human creatures running around that yard. There was something that crashed or made a hard landing in their backyard. Or they don't know what, and then the second that happened, it became invisible, and so there's what else could you say? I mean, all these other cases that we've had throughout the years. I mean, for instance, like the Ariel school incident. To me, right, that should have proved it, right? You have over 60 little kids in Zimbabwe back in September of 1994. In the morning recess outside, they're all playing. All the adults are inside having a conference, and a flying saucer lands. Alien creatures get out. One of the alien creatures communicates telepathically with a handful of the kids. Then the creatures leave. The flying saucers leave. The kids are all freaked out. They're screaming screaming and hollering and upset. They were all interviewed later on after the fact, and they all told the same kind of story, basically. And they're still, 30 years later, they're still telling the same story. You would think that should serve as the proof. That should inform the whole world that we're definitely not alone. And among how many other stories? I mean, there's the Turkey UFO videos from 2007, 2008, and 2009. I mean, why doesn't that prove it? I mean, we see alien creatures inside of crafts hovering out over the Sea of Marmara, right? We see it, and there's just so much. There was already so much out there, but then this case comes along, and there's no denying it. There's absolutely no denying it. You have the object coming down. You have all the witnesses to that. You have the 911 call. You have the sincerity of the family members. They were very obviously upset about what was happening here, and totally they didn't know what it was. They had no clue what was happening. And they called 911, and they maintain to this day that this really happened. However, now they changed their stance on this. Some of them, they think it's demonic, that what happened to them involved demons from hell. Okay, but I don't think that's fine that they think that, but the bottom line is there's something here. This proves that there was non-human entities in that family's backyard. And so how come we're not talking? How come this wasn't ever as big of a deal as I thought it should have been? I thought the day after Vindication Day a year ago, I thought the very next thing that was going to happen was that all these people in the UFO community, the Jeremy Corbells of the world, the Ross Coultharts of the world, the Lou Elizondos of the world, all of these big people, all these big names that are running around trying to tell people about that there's a presence on this earth, that there's a cover-up, that the United States government is reverse engineering these crafts that they retrieve. You have David Grushes of the world. Where's everybody at? I mean, what's been going on instead, you still have this debate going on X, for instance, and Reddit all over the place on whether these people are telling the truth or whether they're not telling the truth. Had they latch on to this, then how can anybody deny it? Anybody that looks at this, anybody that absorbs the totality of all the evidence involved in this case is going to walk away knowing that we're not alone. But unfortunately, that's not what's happened here. A whole year has gone by, and I'm probably still one of the only people out there really talking about this. There's a handful of other podcasters like Sherman from a year ago, Casper's site. I mean, there's different people out there that still talk about it, but this was something that the whole world should be talking about. Now, Rotor, he was actually invited to Japan, was it last year, I believe? Yeah, late last year. He went to Japan, and he was on a big TV show in Japan, one of the biggest TV shows in Japan, to talk about this case, and they were very interested in it. And this month, April, they're supposed to be the very first episode of Ancient Aliens. They're supposed to talk about this case. Now, apparently, they're not going to show any of the video clips from it, from what I understand. I hope that's not the case. Maybe we're wrong. We'll see what happens. Because I don't know how you're going to convince people who are watching the show that that's what these family members saw. I mean, how are you going to me, the video evidence is where it's all at. I mean, that ties everything together, right? That brings it all to home. I mean, you had the family members saying that there was creatures in their yard that were definitely not human. They released a video to try to prove it to the world. We had experts look at it, and the experts looked at it, some experts anyway, like Scott Roeder, not many, looked at it. Oh, yep, you're right. There is something there. There's no question about it. We kept on looking at it. We found more creatures in it. There's more creatures in that video that I'm presenting here today. I can't get into it all. In fact, I've created a playlist on YouTube of a lot of the main important videos that I did over the course of most of them from the past 12 months, but there's a couple in the early on from before that. I was showing you some scenes from those earlier. But I put a whole bunch of videos together in one playlist on YouTube, so people who are interested in this, if they want to go from the beginning and look at them, then they could, and figure it out for themselves, they could do so. Or just look at a couple of them. I've been doing everything I can to try to get the word out on this podcast, hoping. This is what my hope was. I really thought that after we did that video on Vindication Day, I thought that all the big names would have gotten involved, and they would have been the ones talking about it and pointing the finger back at the debunkers and the skeptics and saying, "See, we told you that there's something to this. There are creatures here, and this proves, and there's nothing you can do about it." And there is nothing they can do about it. I've been attacked by different debunkers over the course of the year, but none of them of them, were able to analyze this or provide any sort of rebuttal that meant anything. It's just impossible for them because they can't. They know you can't debunk this. How could you debunk it? So that's where we are. Nobody really got on board. And so instead, what did I, for the whole year now, I've been trying to get the word out. And I can't keep talking about this story all the time. So I mix it up, of course. But I have to keep bringing it up because somebody has to keep bringing it up. Unfortunately, because the rest of the UFO community, for some reason, is ignoring this. And I don't understand why. Because to me, right, you look at all the evidence connected with this case, you're going to walk away knowing that this proves it. If you were to take this to a court, if this was ever brought into a court of law, the jury would determine, yes, there were aliens in that backyard, right? If, say, for some reason, Las Vegas decided to file a complaint against the family for making a phony 911 call about alien creatures in their backyard, it would go to court and Las Vegas would lose. They would lose big time. That's why they wouldn't do it. They would never do something like that. In fact, the police there believed the family. So to me, right, I don't know why. I don't know why this could have been to me, right, this is a wrecking ball. This could bring down this entire cover-up, but for some reason it's kept in the closet because obviously it seems we're not ready for this yet. People in the UFO community, the big names, the big heads in there, right, they want to keep things status quo. They want to keep things where they are right now. They don't want the world to know about this stuff. They want to pretend it's not real too, some of them, for some reason. I don't get it. I don't understand why. But you know what? I'm going to keep talking about it. I'm going to keep bringing it up. Sooner or later, right? People are going to find out about this over time, right? People are going to be looking back, like say 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now. I'll probably be dead, right? But people will be, as long as these videos are still floating around there on YouTube, people will be looking at the stuff that Scott Roeder and so all these other people like myself have been putting out there, and they're going to say, "Wow!" People were ignoring the true evidence here for some reason. Like I was hoping, because here, who the hell am I? I don't have that big of a following, right? I thought after we did that show and all these other people found out about it that they would have been talking about it, and that it would have been, the whole world would be talking about it then, and that's it. We move forward. Okay, if the whole world admits finally, yes, we're not alone. There's aliens here, and obviously, and then you go to the government and you say, hey, what are you doing here? Don't you know about this case? Don't you know that the aliens are landing in people's backyards? You don't know anything about this? I questioned the Pentagon about that. In fact, I did send a letter to the Pentagon and to the Department of Energy in June of last year, detailing the entire thing, everything I knew at that point, anyway. And I never got a response from them. You know why? Why didn't I get a response from them? Because what are they going to say? What are they going to say? They can't say anything. Because they know the Pentagon knows that this proves it. The debunkers know that this proves it because they won't even analyze it for money. $5,000 Mick West turned down. Oh, he doesn't need it. He thinks he might get sued if he doesn't. Well, what's he talking about? So this is where we are, folks. This is the proof. We have absolute proof. In fact, one more thing. I did a bunch of little videos here, just to try to get the point out. I even made these little what do you call them? Little cartoon videos, like a little series of cartoon videos where I was just trying to make a point. Here's one. I'll play one of them right here. Here, check this out.
It has come to my attention that you might have had your face captured on one of the moron humans' primitive communication devices. Is that true?
Not that I know of, Master.
Can you please explain this then?
I'm sorry. It was only for 0.5 of a second.
0.5 of a second? 0.5 of a second? Too much! Some of these dopes figured it out, and now they know. They know about us, and it's because of your stupidity.
But the cloaking was knocked off kilter in the hard landing.
Silence! You should have known better. Now you must suffer the consequences.
Please no, not that. Please no.
Engage the agonizer. Full power.
No!
And then last year, I made another satirical kind of comedy video called Absolute Proof, where I laid out some stuff here, just in a little short little nugget, so people who don't have the time to try to sit down to absorb all of this evidence will see, hey, wait, maybe there's something to this. So I made this little video, and Scott Roeder actually really appreciated that little video. Check this out. That's called Absolute Proof. Tired of UFO debunkers laughing at you and insisting you have no proof of the alien presence on Earth? Are you sick of testifying under oath about the reality that we're not alone in the universe, that a faction within the United States government is hiding this truth from the public while operating a covert program to reverse engineer retrieved extraterrestrial crafts that crashed, but you have no evidence other than words to back up your assertions? Are you tired of government officials lying to you about UFOs and aliens? Well, have we got the solution for you? Introducing new, absolute proof of the non-human intelligence on Earth. Stop gaslighting, obfuscation, and idiocy in their tracks with absolute proof. Brought to you by the Las Vegas alien incident of 2023, Absolute Proof is the game changer you've been waiting for. Just before midnight on April 30th, 2023, an object that looks similar to a meteor was seen falling from the sky from 4 states. It was captured on police body cameras, car cameras, and private home surveillance cameras before it made a hard landing in the Las Vegas backyard of a family of 4. Teenage brothers Angel and Joshua were working on their father's truck at the time and watched in amazement as the blue and green lighted object slammed onto the ground, throwing up red sparks. The object became instantly invisible upon impact, and the boys then heard thousands of footsteps running off in various directions. Next thing Angel knew, he was face to face with 2 8 to 10 foot tall alien beings, one of which was able to momentarily paralyze the youth just by staring him in the eyes. Eventually, the 2 brothers escaped the yard and informed Mother Contra and Father Bobby of the high strangeness. The 2 brothers and father, armed with handguns, then attempted to enter the backyard to scare the intruders away or shoot them dead if necessary, while the mother filmed the action with her cell phone camera. Seconds upon entering the yard via a metal gate, one of the creatures emerged from the darkness and scared them back out. Soon after this engagement with apparent beings from another world, Angel called 911 to report 2 tall alien creatures in his backyard.
9 feet, 10 foot. I don't know. They look like aliens to us. Big eyes. They have big eyes.
Okay.
Like I can't explain it. And big mouth. They're shiny eyes and they're not human. They're 100% they're not human.
By the time police arrived, the creatures and craft were gone, and all that was left was a shocked and terrified family. A subsequent analysis of the video by world-renowned crime scene reconstruction expert Scott Roeder and his team determined that the 1 minute and 41 second long cell phone footage was authentic and untampered with. Furthermore, Roeder and his team determined that there were tall alien creatures captured in the video and that they were using some type of cloaking technology to hide themselves from detection. Unfortunately for the aliens, but fortunately for us, that technology wasn't apparently up to par that night because we can see the faces of these weird critters appearing and disappearing throughout. This one here matches exactly an insectoid creature that abducted 4 young men in Maine's Allagash Wilderness in 1976. Further analysis of the video revealed that, in addition to the tall creatures, there were short aliens present as well, including this little guy, who has come to be known as the Undeniable Backbreaker, or UB for short, because his existence cannot be denied or debunked. UB, as you can plainly see, meets the common description of the short alien gray. So, next time you're confronted by idiotic debunkers, make sure you're equipped with absolute proof and watch them scurry away from it faster than Count Dracula running away from a crucifix. And when you're asked to testify about the extraterrestrial reality in a congressional hearing, feel confident that you have absolute proof in your back pocket to finally move the discussion over the hump and shake the world off its foundations. Absolute proof, the brand where you can't go wrong. And it's guaranteed. Right, Scott?
I guarantee it.
So, there we go. So, I mean, this is just some of the stuff. There's so much, right? There's so much to this case, right? And we have proof now. We have the aliens. We have them on video. The video is verified to be authentic and not tampered with, right? So, how come there's still a segment of this, a giant segment of the world's population that's pretending that, or doesn't know, or acts like it doesn't know that we're not alone. You know why? Because this is being covered up, even by people within the UFO community itself. People within the UFO community itself are not talking about this for some reason. Now, hopefully that's going to change this month with the broadcast of this Ancient Aliens episode. Hopefully that wakes some people up here a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. I hope so. I think more people in the UFO community need to be talking about this. They should have been talking about it. This is a whole year has gone by. A whole freaking year. The absolute proof of, think about this. Think about the how big this story is. It's the biggest story of all time. A whole year has gone by and it's being treated like, like what the hell's going on here? Where is everybody? A whole year. Think about it. A whole year has gone by. This is over. It's over. The debate is over. There's nothing to debate about. We know that there's something here. We need to be talking about other aspects to this phenomenon at this point. But anyway, here we are. This is the first year anniversary of Vindication Day, April 2nd. Every April 2nd, in my mind anyway, and I'm sure in some other people's minds, like Scott Roters and a lot of other people, a lot of the people who follow my channels, my podcast, in their minds, a lot of people are going to say, hey, this is Vindication Day. This is the day when it was finally presented to the world, absolute proof of an alien presence on this planet. Indisputable. And it still hasn't been disproven, and it never will be disproven. They cannot do it. It's impossible. All they can do is lie to you. The debunkers out there, the skeptics, all these, for whatever reason, these self-important idiot morons, right, are going to continue to be out there just feeding people lies about this. For why, I don't know. For whatever their agenda is, I can't figure it out. But the bottom line is that this happened. We have the evidence now. The absolute proof shows that we're not alone in this world, and here we are, and we're still, a whole year has gone by since it was presented, and we're still like, it's still, it's not as big of a story as it should have been. Where's the rest of the UFO community? That's where I'm at right now. I'm not happy about that. And let me just point it out this to you too. If anybody out there tells you that this case doesn't prove anything, that person's a liar or they're stupid. That's the bottom line. Either they're lying or they're stupid. Always remember that. Lying or stupid. One or the other. It doesn't make, there's no other choice. No other choice. So I just want to point that out, and I'd love to debate anybody out there. I'd love to have one of these debunkers on there. I'd eat them for lunch. Right? Because they wouldn't be able to stand it. They wouldn't be able to deal with it. They can't deal with it. Obviously, they can't. Look at, I'm spitting, man. There's actually spit flying out of my mouth right now. I'm so pissed. But, I just want to point it out. I think it's important. Vindication Day, folks. 1 year anniversary. Here we are. We have the absolute proof, and there's absolutely nothing. Nobody could ever take it away from you, ever. And anybody that ever tells you, comes to your face and says, you're crazy if you believe in that stuff, show them this and say, you know what to say. 2 words. I won't say them on here, being that's a family. Try to keep it, clean on here. But you know the words I'm thinking of. You know what I really want to say right now to these people, to these deniers, not just the debunkers or the skeptics, to everybody out there. This is what I got to say to the deniers of this case. You know what I want to say, but I'm not going to say it, but you know. You know what I think. You know what I want to tell you. Anyway, I just want to point it out. But anyway, happy Vindication Day, everyone. The proof, the absolute proof was presented a year ago today. So I guess next time we'll talk about Vindication Day is a year from now, the next Vindication Day. We'll see where things stand then. Can't wait to find out. Maybe there'll be some people will be looking at this in a whole new way by that point. Maybe it'll take it. Maybe it's just so fantastic. It's so outstanding. It's so unbelievable, so incredible, this whole story, that it's going to take 2 years before it finally starts sinking into to the skulls of the deniers and the dopes out there. I don't know how long maybe it's going to take up to 2 years. Maybe a year wasn't enough. Another year maybe. I don't know. But anyway, I want to say this. I want to say thank you all for joining me here today. Until next time.